Holy hell, is it hot outside?
How hot was it?
It's so hot outside, you should have seen the ride into the studio to shoot this video. When it's this hot, especially in Texas, that means it's probably around 4th of July, and actually it is 4th of July. It says right here on my wrist. Well, what's that mean? We gotta sit down and play some patriotic USA America 4th of July games. And if you're wondering what kind of games those could be, well, I've got just the list for you. Now, when it comes to the 4th of July, there are a few things that just pop into your head. Fireworks, maybe hot dogs or something, and the movie Independence Day. Now, you could go and play Independence Day on the PlayStation 1, but that game is a steaming pile of garbage. We all know it. Don't play that game. Instead, play Starfox 64. Now, the whole game isn't like Independence Day. What you want to do is get to the planet Katina. In this stage, your job is to destroy a vast army of small ships. You're in a dogfight and you're completely outnumbered. Kind of reminds you of something, right? But that's just the beginning, because soon you will see a giant mothership appear, and it looks a little familiar. Now, it's not a direct ripoff of Independence Day, it's a much smaller ship, but you can definitely see the influences here. I mean, this game was released right around the same time as the movie. So you are next to a mothership fighting a vast army of spaceships, and it really does give you that Independence Day feel. And to top it all off, the way you destroy the mothership is that eventually a core underneath the ship will open up and you blast it, just like the movie. Well, in the movie they didn't really blast it. That dude flew his plane up in there and kamikazed it. I'm back! Ha ha ha! Or whatever he says. Now, of course, you think I'm being silly here, but really, I did pretend I was playing Independence Day whenever I had this game as a kid. No, I was an adult at that point. But I did pretend I was playing Independence Day. It really felt like I was playing the movie, more so than that piece of garbage on the PlayStation. So, if you're in the spirit of independence and you want to shoot some alien butt and you want to pretend like you're saving the entire world from an alien invasion, play Starfox 64. But only the Katina planet. Don't play anything else, because if you do, it may ruin the experience for you.
Time for a little payback. Hurry up and take out that core. Yeehaw! You did it!
When the president, the most free person in the world, gets captured by ninjas, it's not up to the Secret Service to save him. It's not up to the FBI, the Army, the military, anyone. It's up to you and your friend to rescue his ass. Bad Dudes was the epitome of an 80s action movie put onto arcade in the 1980s. Your job is to really rescue the president. And on the arcade, you were rescuing essentially Ronald Reagan. In the NES version, you're essentially rescuing George Bush. They don't come out and say George Bush, but it's clearly supposed to be him. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you're just taking on hordes and hordes of ninjas. Now, the arcade game, pretty good. I like it a whole bunch. The NES version, however, Now, if you can play the arcade game, do it for sure. But if the NES version is the only version that you have, well, go for it anyway. Hell, it's the 4th of July. You should be playing games like this. You should be rescuing the president, so go for it. Of any day of the week, I would never play this game. But on 4th of July, hell yeah, I'm playing Bad Dudes. Now, the problem with the NES game, in my opinion, it's just kind of clunky. The controls just aren't that great. The graphics are kind of bland, and it's just not a crisp and well put together game. Still though, you take a really bad, like we're talking like American Ninja, like a really bad 80s action flick, this is it. Okay, you're rescuing the president from ninjas, and it even asks you at the start of the game if you're a bad enough dude to accomplish this mission. And it's up to you to decide, are you bad enough to rescue the president? And when you actually do rescue the president, if you get that far in the game, the president takes you out for burgers to celebrate. That is the most American thing I have ever heard. So if you're not playing Bad Dudes on 4th of July, you're completely missing out and you're doing it wrong. Okay, so what is the essence of 4th of July? What should it be? Well, that's of course freedom. So when we're talking about freedom, we want games that have freedom in the title, correct? So what I have for you is Freedom Fighters on the Gamecube. Now, it came out for other systems, but the Gamecube is what I played it on. I absolutely love alternate history. I think it's fascinating to think what could have happened. And this game dwells on that. It's an alternate history of what could have happened if the Soviet Union had won the Cold War and taken over the United States. You take the role of an ordinary working stiff. This looks really familiar, by the way. Well, you quickly become a freedom fighter as you recruit a team and go into the underground to fight the Soviets. If you're sensing a little influence from the movie Red Dawn, then I'm right there with you. I really think that that was an influence for this game, which is great because that was an awesome movie. The 80s version. The premise of the game is great, but the fun factor is as well. You get to recruit other members to your team and take over different sections of the city. Your job is to push those Ruskies out and retake different sections of the city in the name of freedom. One thing that took me a little bit of time to get used to was the controls. It's not your standard shooter. It's a third-person shooter game, and so the aiming is kind of automatic. Instead of aiming directly, unless you zoom in, you point the gun in the general direction where you want to shoot, and it auto locks onto an enemy. While that may make the game sound like it's easy, it is still pretty challenging. I quickly found that the gameplay was extremely addicting, and I really wanted to see where the story was going to progress. I loved this game so much, I actually ended up beating it multiple times, even on the hardest setting, which allows you to play a bonus level at the end where you're fighting your way up the Statue of Liberty. If that's not symbology, then I don't know what is. Symbolism. I believe the word you're looking for is symbolism.
Today we have finally succeeded in liberating the suppressed masses of Americans from further hardship, and we will soon restore law and order in a new rule of government. And we expect and believe that every citizen will swear allegiance to this new order. Cooperate and you will reap all the benefits of the Soviet system.
I hope that you take this list that I gave you and you celebrate with friends and family wherever you are from, but especially in the US. And if you're not from the United States and you still want to play these games, then go right ahead, because these games are for everyone. Just pretend that they don't have anything to do with freedom. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Have a happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, happy every day. And, well, now we're happy and scream. Still, the spirit of it all is still there. Jay's on the phone. Yeah, what's up?
So Jay's on the phone.
No, I didn't.
I just heard you.
Imagination, maybe? No, I'm here alone. What's up?
Are you hungry? You want chicken again?
Sure, bring chicken.